That brings us to the round table where I'm joined by a couple of old pros. I've got Mike Stone and I've got Bob Winowski. Stoney can be heard on 97.1 The
Who's
Ticket.
old, Woody?
And Wojo, we all are. And Wojo can be heard on 97.1 The Ticket and also read in the Detroit News. All right, guys, you saw what happened today. You heard what happened today. Your reaction, Wojo, go.
Well, I'll just get it out of the way. Detroit versus everybody. Has anyone mentioned that yet? Okay, all right, whatever. Yes, it was a foul. It wasn't the toughest foul of all time, but in that situation, and the fact that the referee came out and said it right afterwards, I give the NBA credit for getting out ahead of what's going to be a controversy, but you almost wonder why they said it so quickly, maybe to tamp down the anger. But how many times has a bad call like that turned a series so dramatically? From 2-2 to 3-1, and the Pistons now, I mean, not for sure, but they kind of feel like they're screwed in this series.
Yeah, look, you can go back to '88 with the phantom foul. You know, that kind of changed.
Let's list them all.
That changed the series.
But
been a lot. Look, it was a foul, but the Pistons have their own. They got to blame themselves for how they got into that situation.
They do.
I mean, the turnovers. Cade Cunningham, your best player, and he's been terrific. He's averaging 6 turnovers a game. He missed a key shot. Those are the moments that superstars make. It's still his first playoff series.
Right.
So, you know, you give him some slack, but, man, and then the way they came out, with 0 for 10 from 3 at the beginning of the game.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
okay, but ultimately that doesn't mean anything. They were in position to win the game.
They were.
The Knicks were terrible for stretches too.
Look, they were in position to win the game. They blew an 11-point lead. They blew a 4-point lead with 2 minutes to go. And this play at the end really has everybody scratching their head because there was no way to reverse it. There was no way to offset it. You didn't get the ball back. The game was over at that point.
Well, the two things there. First of all, it was consistent the way they were officiating the entire game. They were letting a lot of stuff go.
Yeah, they were.
However, I think the NBA should take something from the NFL where you're in the last 2 minutes of a game. Somebody from up top should be able to review and overturn something without a challenge. It wasn't reviewable, even if the Pistons did have a challenge. They didn't. He wasted one early in the game. That's a whole other
I totally agree, Stoney. Even if they had a challenge, it wouldn't have worked because no foul was called. So there's no mechanism for them to overturn the call.
They were letting everything go.
Yeah, they were letting
everything go.
Yes.
But I don't think they let any other three-point fouls go.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. And that's what makes this more egregious, is it's right there out in front of everybody in the final play.
And the ref was in the perfect position.
It seemed like it.
You guys mentioned turnovers already. Okay, turnovers and empty possessions. That's what's killing this team. I mean, I did some math here. I mean, I know it's weird. I know.
Did you major in math at Miami?
No, I did not. In game 1, 21 turnovers for 25 New York points. Game 2, they won 16 turnovers for 19 Knicks points. Game 3, 14 for 9. Game 4, 19 for 20 New York points. Cade Cunningham, as you said, averaging like 6 turnovers a game. This is not good.
No, he had 7 today, but the young guys are hurting them a bit too. Ron Holland had 2 in 5 minutes.
And Asar Thompson had those 2 back-to-backs.
Thompson had 4 in just 21 minutes.
Can one of you guys tell me where Malik Beasley is from three-point land? Because he is 12 for 39 in this series right now.
That's not good, and I agree, but he had a couple that when they really needed them there in the fourth quarter. 3-point shooters, that's going to come and go.
All right, let's get to Tuesday. What has to happen now, Stoney?
Well, the same thing we talked about. You know, don't turn the ball over and, you know, make your threes, and you can win. And keep playing. They've been playing really good defense. So, look, the bottom line is the Knicks have 2 great players, Brunson, number 1, and Cat, 2A. The Pistons have 1. And talent, you know, we can bitch about the officiating all we want and turnovers. The Knicks have a more talented team. That's why they were the 3 seed.
And they have guys that have been down in the final minute or 2 who made every big basket, seemingly. Towns and Brunson, and also
Josh Hart played really well.
Josh Hart as well, and
how about that
Michael
shot,
Bridges.
How about that shot Towns hit? The one was like the
from
Larry Bird one
from behind the backboard. Yeah, it looked like Larry Bird.
That was
it really
the winning.
did.
Oh, that one as
that
well.
was
then he
one
hit
of
the
them.
3.
But the winning 3 was nearly a logo one, and you are right. It's great to have grit and grinding, and Cade Cunningham is developing. But boy, oh boy, stars rise in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I really miss Jaden Ivey in this lineup.
You miss Big Speefs too.
He would have been good too. Yes, exactly.
By the way, the environment down there was
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yes,
it was
for the
so
2 games.
loud. It was great.
All right, guys. For the draft, pre-draft expectations versus draft reality. What do you like better, Stoney? Come on.
I like what they did. I mean, I didn't have them taking Williams in the first round, but it's a need, and he's a good player, okay, because of McNeil's injury. I don't understand, and I like Ratledge a lot.
Right.
I don't understand. It's like, but Brad Holmes, right, we have no idea. The necessity to trade up in the second round to move up 2 or 3 spots, and then the Tesla one. That's a lot of collateral. I know on the value chart it looks a lot better, but give up 2 number 3s to get somebody that, I don't know, would he still have been there later?
What I think, it would help you understand it, Stoney, I think, and I'm not being patronizing at all, I think now, as he's into his 3rd and 4th, that Brad Holmes doesn't want all those extraneous picks. He doesn't have room on his team for those. He would rather package them and move up and get a guy. And the other thing, and they've never wavered on this, and it's very simple, Woody, I'll explain football to you.
Oh, thank you.
They love the big fellas. That's all they do is get big fellas, the big bruising offensive linemen. Even the receiver is 6'4".
But they have to restock those positions. I mean, on Detroit's offensive line, it's getting old. Come on now.
And he explained that we wanted to get younger on the offensive line. And the edge thing, I know he gets annoyed by it, but he actually should be complimented by it because they have so few holes elsewhere. That's why we obsess about the edge rusher. And they might have gotten a pretty good one in the guy whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Plus,
from Boise State.
Plus, they're also getting pass rush from the middle of the line with the defensive tackles as well.
Right.
Correct.
And that was a bigger need, I think, than an edge.
Especially with the Lee McNeil probably out at least at the start of the season. I will give the draft overall a B.
All right, let's talk about the Tigers.
Woo.
Pitching, awesome. Tyree Skubal, 30 strikeouts and 1 walk in his last 4 starts. Stoney, that is Cy Young performance again.
Yeah, look, it's no surprise. He's the best pitcher in baseball, so that's great. The other pitchers have been good. But the story for this team has got, like McKinstry, what he's done. And even, everybody's talking about Torque, but Javi is coming through with some big hits. He made a good defensive play earlier this week. And they had the best record in the American League. I thought, 10-game homestand, San Diego had the best record in baseball until they got here. I mean, so they're 8-2 at home. See what happens when they go on the road. But, man, this could be a great summer of good baseball.
Absolutely. They win every series they play now, it seems like.
So far.
Yeah.
And they might, knock on whatever, but they might set some historic type numbers for their starting pitching. There are no holes in their starting pitching. Skubal's ERA is down to 2.34 or whatever it is. They have their best home start in 120 years or whatever. The numbers are amazing, especially because, as Stoney noted, the contributions from, like the guys who got the RBIs today, Dylan Dingler wasn't really a key role last year. Chase Young wasn't a key role last year. Javi Baez wasn't a key role last year. Gleyber Torres wasn't on the team last year. They're getting it from all guys that they weren't even expecting.
And you know what? I seem to remember a little while ago, everybody was talking about the lack of defense with Trey Sweeney and Jace Young and who we're going to have on the left side of the infield. It seems now those guys are ready to go, ready to play and playing well. Young, Sweeney, even Baez when you throw them in center field.
They're playing better defensively. I mean, if you want to look at a negative, Colt Keith is the only one who really hasn't gotten his act together.
I don't want to look at the negative.
But here's the one thing that, and AJ and Scott Harris have decisions to make. When Veerling comes back.
Yes, Parker Meadows too.
When Rogers comes, look, he'll make it. But Nito has been doing really well too. So
those are good problems to have.
Yes, I know.
I give major kudos to Scott Harris and AJ Hinch because nobody either wanted or thought Torque and Baez should be here, could be here, or would be here, and they didn't discard them. And those guys have been so far incredible.
Yes, they have. That'll have to be the last word. Tigers in Houston to take on the Astros. Yes, I'm sorry, Stoney.
We drove 6 hours just for that?
Thanks a lot for coming tonight. Wojo, thanks a lot for coming. Stoney can be heard on 97.1 The Ticket. Wojo can be heard on 97.1 The Ticket and read in the Detroit News.